Leather, the frog spawn as a test. Alright guys, so I kind of figured out my Aquascape. It's not like this, but I have something figured out. I know which pieces I want to connect together. And right now the challenge is actually to open this E-Marco-400. I've been struggling for the past like 5 minutes. I was like, alright, I wasn't gonna film this. If something takes more than 5 minutes, I'm gonna film it. So if you need proof that I'm not handy, this is it. I guess I just gotta get a little rough with it maybe. I don't think opening a bucket should be this difficult. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. This is really necessary. Jesus. So if you're looking at this, chances are you may be looking at ways to kind of glue or cement your rock together really securely. So on BLS, while I was shopping for Macro's rock, this also came up. E-Marco-400 is a mortar kit. It's almost like cement. Basically, you're putting these two-part solution together. As you mix them, they'll solidify. I believe the working minute is about 15-20 minutes before it gets too hard to work. And I'm supposed to do part of the mixture in here, mix it up, and immediately apply it between the rocks. Obviously I've never done this before. I've always just been like a rock stack kind of guy, but since this tank is a little bit taller, I figure, all right, well, let's start cementing some rock down and give it a try. So I watched some instructional YouTube video. Thank you guys for putting those out, helping non-DIY guys like me. Welcome to my bathroom. We're about to mix up the two parts for the cement mix. The instruction, because I have the 5-pound kits, the instruction call for 2 cups or 16 ounces of water in this little container right here. I'm spilling a lot. I'm gonna add a little bit more because it looks like I definitely spilled quite a bit. This is pretty much maxed out, but I spilled some. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water. And then we're gonna give it a good shake. Oh boy. Oh man, I gotta duck down like this. If you're actually using this E-Marco-400 cement, I highly recommend you check out Reefer channel. He has a great video out on how to use it properly. Some of the tips included, of course, using gloves. I actually feel kind of guilty using gloves right now with the pandemic going around. I feel like I should save the gloves. Another great tip that he offers is actually using a plastic cup instead of the bucket it came with to mix all the cement, just to keep everything clean. So I got some knocked off red Solo cup around the house. Not like anybody's coming over for party anytime soon, so let's go ahead and use these. Another great tip that he offers is actually using super glue. He used Pilot Lab super glue, but any super glue would work as mock-up first, because super glue, while they can hold the rock in place temporarily, they can also be easily broken off. So he recommended using those super glue, hold the rock in place, look at it for a couple days to see if you like it, and then kind of use cement to seal the deal. But for me, since I'm kind of like a let's just do it right now or I'll never do it kind of guy, I figured, you know what, let's just use the cement, man. We'll make things work. So depending on your approach, his recommendation of using super glue first as a mock-up is actually fantastic. It's still kind of sandy. I definitely need a little bit more. And that's kind of like constant from all these videos that I'm seeing, saying that you kind of have to experiment to see how much of these liquid two parts you put into the cement mix. And again, there's a lot of great video online showing you how exactly to do it. I'm just kind of showing you guys as I go along. So this is by no means an instructional video, just kind of like a follow me on my crazy journey video. And one cool tip that Antonio E-Marco offers is actually keeping most of the cement in the backside, on the backside, because people don't see the back as much, and I thought that was a good reminder.
20 minutes later.
Okay, I think I may be a little bit late to game. So one tip BLS have is actually once you have the cement in place, you can stick some of these small chunks of rock on it so that it looks a little bit more natural, but I think I'm a little bit too late. They're already kind of set, so that's okay. Well, here, let's see. Yeah, I feel like I'm not, I mean, this goes in, but I feel like because my Aquascape is relatively small compared to like the bigger boulders that a lot of people uses, actually that may still work because it's pretty thick. So I'm not using really thick cements, and this may not be as relevant to me. If it really bothers me, I think later on I can pretty much just super glue little rocks on here to cover up the spot, so that should be okay too. Although it'll be kind of like sticking out versus sunken in, which it should ideally look. So I think hindsight, I probably should, if I want to do that, I would use a little bit more cement. Right now it's really thin layer. I should use a thicker cement so I can actually push that little pebbles in, and I do hope these don't set on my table. Yeah, they're not. Excellent. All right, so I've cemented a couple pieces of rock together, namely these two. This is just for holding purpose while it cures. I connected these two, I connected these two, and I connected these two right here, and it goes all the way around. I tried to do most of my bounding in the back so that the front doesn't look too obvious. I mean, obviously at the joint you still see some of them, but later on maybe I'll plant some corals there or super glue some of these little pebbles on there, but I feel like it should be okay.
The next day.
All right guys, so I have the arch all set up, ready to go. It has been cured for a little bit more than 24 hours, and so it should be rock solid, no pun intended. So there's like 4 pieces, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of rock kind of merged together. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So supposedly, from what I hear, the cement joints is even tougher than the rock himself. So the rock would break first before the joints, and looks pretty solid. It's like one solid piece. This is awesome, excellent to see, fantastic. So once I put this in the tank, I feel like the sand's probably gonna come up to about here. So most likely just a little bit of just this part of the arch will be visible, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Over here, this is what I was working on yesterday, and I added this piece right here today around lunchtime when I was taking a little break from work. So this should be solid as well. Let me see, this is actually really heavy rock. Yeah, I think it should be good. Yep, good to go. I kind of want to reinforce it a little bit because I see areas that I can kind of add a little bit more. But so far, oh, actually I didn't realize I added that much back here. So far it feels really solid. So this is a really good sign. So this 2 piece I did yesterday, this piece I did around lunchtime today, so this still needs a little bit of time to cure, but supposedly after an hour or 2 it should be pretty steady or pretty well bounded. So let's go ahead and take off the supporting piece. So these are just kind of support until the cement's set. I'm not going to put any stress on it because I want to make sure it cures. This piece is going to be really important. Let me just see. Yeah, it should be good. I'm going to swing around and walk around the table. And you can see I really kind of slapped on the cement. And the reason I really want to make sure this is secure is because I want to build something out this way. This one takes a little bit longer, simply because I gotta do this, wait for it to cure, and then add the other piece. So there's like a long pause in between each piece I get on. But seeing how well this E-Macro-400 works, I'm pretty confident in the ability for it to hold the rock. So to create all these dramatic structure, it's gonna be good.
2 days later.
So I'm working late into the night, but since we're down where the basement is, figure let's do a quick tank update on the 135 gallon tank. So I'm working on the rock work right now. The tank has not been sitting empty. I've actually added corals to this tank, some of the hotter ones, namely the leather, the frog spawn as a test, and some of the mushrooms and zinnias over there obviously doing well as well, also green star polyp. This is actually the one from Dave's Nano Tank. I got it from Billy Pipes because he hooked me up with frag, and I figure it's a nice way to kind of let Dave's legacy lives on in this tank. So as you can see, corals are doing really well in this tank. Namely the frog spawn. I'm especially happy with the frog spawn because it was struggling in the 10 gallon, and the mangrove, the ones in the mangrove seem to be turning around, but since they're doing so well in this tank, most likely I'll just kind of drop them in this tank as well. I think this tank is ready for euphyllias. Another thing that I'm really happy about is actually the jack-o'-lantern lepto. I thought it may be a little bit too early for the tank to have leptos, but it is on a big piece of live rock. I have no little place to put it, so I just dumped it in here, and it's doing really well. Look, even the polyps are out, so I'm really impressed by that. But what I'm most happy about is actually the brown diatom that is showing up on the sand bed.
The next morning.
Nothing beats a little morning jazz and checking out the work from yesterday. So for the last day and a half, I've been working on this arch, basically filling it out and then slowly cementing it down. And today is the final move of removing the supports. So this is kind of like my ultimate test for the E-Marco-400 cement. This is just like a ridiculous scape. I'm not even sure if it's gonna hold. We'll find out right now together. 3, 2, This looks promising. I mean, it's not budging. How ridiculous does this look? Look at this. I mean, I wasn't thinking about making it this far out, this ridiculous, but I was kind of egged on. I was like, oh, I wonder if I could when I do this. I was like, okay, that's cool. I wonder if I could when I do this. I was like, I wonder if I could if I do this. And let me tell you, it could. All right, let me see. My worry is well, this way definitely it's not coming this way at all. It's not budging. But how about backwards? I think you need quite a bit. Well, all right. So tilting backwards, I need a little bit of force. Not too bad. Not too bad. I don't think anything in the tank will be able to move it. But if I want to be super safe, I just add a tiny bit of rock right here, and then we're all set. Something like this. So this is a pair. It'd be something like this. So we get something in the front, right? And then we get something in the back, and that's the reason I added this piece. So that doesn't end right here in a little bulb kind of deal. I wanted to kind of flow a little bit too. I should have kind of angled it a little bit lower so it matches this angle, but that does not look bad, does it? So I think that's gonna be a little bit further out, and we got a boulder push back a little bit. Oh man, here it is. So this is kind of the wow factor for this kind of escape. Like this kind of game, I just have some kind of rock, it's nice. But if we throw something like that in, this is gonna look interesting. Didn't really disintegrate that much for what, 4 or 5 years now?